Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. The pre-show, to be exact. Away we go.
Air traffic control, bring in New York. Roger that. Bring in Canada. 10-4. Gentlemen, we have liftoff.
Bam! We are back again for number 10. Cave Crew Radio, Season 10. Let's go. CaveCrewRadio.com.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Big B, DK here.
Hi there.
I know I've personally had a hell long week, but it is Friday. I'm good to be here. This is the Jolitz Jamboree Go Home Show.
What does that mean? I saw it. I don't know what it means.
So I was hoping you would ask that. So every time in wrestling, they have a pay-per-view, be it SummerSlam, WrestleMania, whatever it is. The Raw before the pay-per-view is the go home show, meaning this is the show before we do the event.
Okay.
So I thought I'd steal that.
Got it. I haven't watched wrestling in a really long fucking time.
I don't watch it either. I still kind of read about it and stuff like that. But Terry Funk died this week.
Yes, I saw that Terry Funk died.
And so did Bray Wyatt, 36 years old.
I never watched him wrestle because I stopped watching wrestling way before that. I didn't realize that was Mike Rotundo's kid.
Mike Rotundo's kid, Barry Windham's nephew.
Right, and he was named Wyndham Rotunda.
Wyndham Rotundo, right. And then I'm sure you'll remember, I know you stopped watching, Blackjack Mulligan.
Blackjack Mulligan
was his grandfather.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, so I still follow it. I just can't watch it anymore. Like if I got 10 minutes and nothing else is on, I'll watch it, but I read about it still. I'm still a wrestling fan, but it just doesn't do it for me anymore.
See, this is what I've been doing. So I got the Peacock Network, right? So that's the app where you can watch all of like NBC stuff, and they also house all of the WWF stuff. Like remember the WWF had their own subscribable network.
It's still there. I found out, by the way, I was still paying for it, even though I canceled it.
Well, that's been long gone. That's all been transferred over to Peacock. And Peacock has all of the wrestling stuff, including old school AWA, WCCW, old NWA stuff back from the early 80s on. So I've been watching some of that stuff, and that was really good stuff. Like old Starcades from 1987.
Yep.
You know, that's really awesome stuff from way back then compared to what wrestling is now. I liked it back then.
No, I agree 100%. I kept interest because my boy, up until about 2 years ago, now he's into UFC and boxing and all this, which is great. I watched it with him, but when I used to go, you would smoke in the arena. The light, there wasn't all these, what do you call those, pyroglyphics or whatever they have now?
Pyrotechnics,
good enough.
Hieroglyphics are things ancient people wrote on cave walls.
Right. That's for another time. Anyway, the smoky arena, the big lamps over top the ring, you'd hear music when the guys came out and stuff, but and there was no internet, right? So when you were in the arena, if you were live, because we'd go every month, me and my buddies, and right before the main event, they say, "Ladies and gentlemen, October 21st, live here at Cobo Hall in Detroit. The main event will be," and then, whatever, Andre the Giant versus King Kong Bundy. And then you'd be like, oh my God, there was no spoilers then or anything, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's when it was. And and the guys weren't like perfectly built. You know, the Sheik, Bobo Brazil, King Kong Bundy, like they were fit and they did great, but they looked normal.
Right. Well, I remember like watching these now. I didn't in New York, we didn't get I didn't have cable, so I didn't have the Superstation TBS. There was no NWA stuff when they moved over there, and a lot of the stuff was still in the territories back in the early '80s. So
Yep.
all I had was our local channel, Channel 9 here in New York, which housed the WWF stuff. So you'd get the Saturday morning WWF superstars where Macho Man would face off against some Joe Schmo and beat him up, and they would do, promos for, I'm going to get you in St. Louis, brother, and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
now they
all of
don't
this,
they don't do those squash matches. Like they actually have what would be like a main event match because they're filming them in arenas now, right? So they have to be good matches. When those old TV things were on, it was in a studio. Like there was maybe 20 fans.
right?
Each year.
Well, they had them in like gyms and all that stuff. So yeah. So but the only place I would get to see all these other things because there was no internet was the magazines. You get like Pro Wrestling Illustrated or something like that, and they make reference to those now. Like watching those old matches that I'm watching now from back in the early '80s. All the Ric Flair did an interview for PWI in this upcoming, in September's upcoming issue, 1983, the issue, whatever it is. And that's where I would learn about the Road Warriors and Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes and all of these other people because they weren't in the WWF.
In the magazines, and you used to be able to go rent the videos at like Blockbuster or wherever your favorite place was. So the first time the NWA came to Detroit, I was front row. Lex Luger, Sting, Road Warriors, Midnight Express, Dusty Rhodes, all those guys before they migrated to. It was the greatest wrestling show of all time in my opinion. All my heroes, Harley Race, Mil Mascaras, Ric Flair, before they all went over to WWF or WWE.
Yeah, and it's amazing now because I remember when I was a kid, like I said, the only thing I could watch was whatever WWF was available to me. So I thought that was the greatest wrestling of all times. And just reading about these other wrestlers, hoping they would. I didn't understand territories back then. So it was like, I didn't understand why they weren't on my TV in the WWF, why they were wrestling somewhere else.
Right.
But now that I look back on it, those other wrestling promotions, AWA, NWA, World Class Championship Wrestling, was so much better than the WWF.
Stampede Wrestling.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Yeah.
Mid-South.
Whatever that one was in the in Texas with the Von Erichs and what's his name? Crazy Michael Hayes and his gang. And
it was so much better than the WWF by leaps and bounds.
Oh, huge. It's when wrestling was gold.
Yeah, and they still did the kayfabe, so it was really, good guy versus bad guy. Now it's just, we all know it's fake, and it's kind of pointless to watch. I don't get it.
It's too much. Anyway, okay, our timer ran out. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, to start the Jolitz Jamboree Go Home show, which, by the way, simply means it's the last show before the big show. And we'll be talking about the big show as we launch off here.
This is Radio.
It's the Angry Old Man Podcast at Sandpoint Beach in Windsor, Ontario, with our buddies DK and Big B here on Cave Crew Radio. We're not here
to cause you trouble. We're not here to make a speech. We are here to look for women prancing topless on the beach. So enjoy your endless summer here on Cave Crew Radio, and we'll keep this party going till we're buried as deep in snow.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, folks.
There was a time when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clement, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a power goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cave Crew Radio. This is the Jolitz Jamboree Go Home Show, which means it's all going down next week. The biggest party of the summer is getting even bigger. The sequel to Choo Choo Mania, which we'll get into in a little bit. We got lots of talking FLA to catch up on. We got Mike Jolitz reads the news. We got other surprises along the way. It's going to be a great show. We are live on cavecrewradio.com. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. And we are available wherever podcasts can be found. If you're watching us here on YouTube or Facebook or on the homepage, you can see Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the homepage, all on our new graphics. But as usual, ladies and gentlemen, I digress. It's time to get into the show and get the action started.
And now, he is the king of the sovereign county of Urain Stench and Stenchlandia, the commander-in-chief of the Water Gypsies, the self-proclaimed president of the United States, a university graduate, and always the epicenter of something. Ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Highness, Big B.
Yes, live from Queens, New York, I am King B, King of Stenchlandia and the Water Gypsies, your president-elect of the United States of America, and as always, the epicenter of something. This week, I have to read it.
Oh,
I am the epicenter of all things, playing an essential role in the service and security improvement projects for the company I work for.
Wow, you are moving up the ladder, man. You know, beans don't burn on the griddle. You know, that's going to be your new song.
moving on up to the
Moving on
east
up.
side.
Yeah.
With a deluxe apartment in the sky.
In the
So
sky.
I had my mid-year review. They do reviews twice a year. This one means kind of nothing. It's the end of year one where you get the raises and all this stuff. This one kind of just is something for the HR department to do.
Right. Make you feel good or bad.
Ish.
Yeah.
So yes, I had my review, and part of the write-up was that I play an essential role in the service and security improvement projects, talking about MFA, password complexity, advanced migration from one help desk to another, things of that nature. So I play.
Don't forget, you cover everyone's ass while they're on vacation.
I do that too. And
yes.
mere minutes before I went on the pre-show, I was turning somebody's account off.
Yeah, because you were late. I was worried.
Yeah, I had to. I was sitting on my couch getting ready, getting ready to do my normal thing. All of a sudden, I get a message. Oh, by the way, can you deactivate this person?
So someone
give me a few minutes.
Got fired.
Either or, I don't know. I don't ask questions. I get the name and I deactivate all their accounts. So yes, mere minutes before coming on, I was doing that. So yes, so my mid-year review went swimmingly. I am fantastic. Last one, I was magical. This year, I'm essential to the security of the company, and that's where I stand.
They're going to run out of adjectives.
They are. You know what else?
I know it's time, but I just wanted to mention Bacon in chat here is extremely excited for the Jolitz Jamboree. Hold on to your seats. In just a few minutes, I'm going to reveal the 5 contests. The penalties, you will have to wait until the night of the show. But now, ladies and gentlemen, one of our favorite parts of the show is
Mrs. B presents the drink of the week.
All right, let's see if this works for us. That's the wrong way again.
Now I'm covered by the graphics. There we go.
There. Oh, jeez. There you go.
We'll get it eventually.
My mouse is working too well.
So this is called a Bailey's float. Hence the name. It has
float.
It has Bailey's, coffee, and chocolate ice cream. That's it.
Very nice.
And my wife made one for her, and she drank it. She says, I have much more liquor in this one than in hers because she can't handle that much.
As always, you have much more. So Bailey's, that's it. No vodka, tequila.
No, not tonight. A little like a it's kind of like an adult milkshake kind of
like a little after dinner.
A little after dinner desserty drink treat shake thing. So yes, I will enjoy my Bailey's float with Bailey's and chocolate ice cream and something else.
You're going to go into a sugar coma tonight.
That's why I take pills.
Is it the only one?
It is the only one. She left. She left.
Okay.
She's the only one.
She's working on something. There's got to be something going on.
We're getting ready for back to school. So, back to school's in a couple of weeks. So we are
please just get.
I'm gone.
I know, but
now I'm fully back.
On solo. I don't. There we go. Be Live. You're gonna have to give me something else for free. I'm gonna have to get one of these for pucks and pints in a different color.
But yes, so that is the drink of the week, and that is my mid-year review epicenter.
And that's excellent. I don't think I've ever had a review. I either get my bonus or I don't. I either show up and my alarm works or it doesn't. So everything's good as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, let's let's preview next week real quick before we get busy. So next week, ladies and gentlemen, is a show that people tell me they're looking forward to. It's this.
A battle of the ages. Two titans collide. Who comes out on top? The time has come for the Jolitz Jamboree. Let's go.
So the Jolitz Jamboree, replacing Choo Choo Mania. So for those of you that are newer, you won't remember, but we did a few Choo Choo Manias with Choo Choo Stew. We did 2. Big B is telling me. For some reason, I think there was more, but we must have got canceled or something. Yeah, Choo Choo Stew and CJ Ripka, like we were talking on the pre-show about old school wrestling. It was great. And then, of course, an actual couple, Amanda and Jason Scott versus each other, was a lot of fun as well. Well, Choo Choo Stew is retired, as you know, and is now an AI character. So I think it was your idea, or maybe it was Mike's, the Jolitz Jamboree.
That was my idea. I have to take credit for that.
And I like it. And I, ladies and gentlemen, am the one kind of orchestrating this because Big B is going to be Mike Jolitz's opponent. Now, normally, Big B is here to help me keep score, do this, do that. Now, I'm kind of on my own unless we got a volunteer out there who wants to help me. So there's a few events we have. Well, let me go to this one first because this is an old favorite. And I wasn't going to do it, but I kind of have to. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want that. I wanted it solo. It's a good old favorite. Again, if you're new or old, I don't know.
Fact or fiction? True or false? Right or wrong? Let's go. It's time to play Believe It or What?
Yeah, Believe It or What is going to be one of them. Big B went on a long streak and then had it broken because he had lupus or something like that against Choo Choo Stew in the grand finale. But he's very familiar with this. It's multiple choice. For multiple choice, and you get a point if you get the answer right. And I might give a couple of lifelines. I haven't decided.
Yes, I played. What was it? 50 Shades of Grey. Believe it or what?
Yeah.
I played. What was it with Eric the Swede?
My Little
Pony. Believe it or what? I beat Stu in music. Believe it or what? I've been through various topics and then just general topics and Believe It or What.
And they fought through the tournament to see who played you, and I was shocked, but maybe a little redemption at the Jolitz Jamboree.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, all right. So next up, I think I've got some good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one I think you might do good at. This one's called Spell It For Me, where I have a series of extremely difficult words.
Okay.
Which, by the way, when I was gathering this information, I made sure I looked up pronunciation.
That's big with you because, you're not good at pronunciation.
I would screw this whole thing up. So I went in, I go difficult words, spelling bee for adults, with pronunciation and meaning, because you guys will be able to say, what does the word mean? And I'll be able to give it to you. And this may be in your advantage, but I don't know. Mike Jolitz, he's pretty smart too, right?
And I will ask you to use it in a sentence at least twice.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that, but you know what? We got to make it fun for me too. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be a little jabbing at the host. Then I've been waiting for this for over a year. This came into my mind. I've got everything ready. It's going to be excellent.
A battle of the ages. Two titans collide. Who comes out on top? The time has come for the Jolitz Jamboree. Let's go.
And that was the wrong one. This is the one I want.
Same game with a twist. Do you think you can guess that song? It's time for Believe It or What?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a different version on Believe It or What. It's not really named that tune because I'm not going to give you an amount of notes. It's kind of like Beat Shazam, if you've ever heard of that. So there's going to be a very short clip of a song, and you'll have a chance to name it. The other person can steal. And you said before, you're a little worried about this one because you know music like the back of your hand. But when it comes to this, it might be
See, I always like I'll know the song, I'll know like words and stuff, but I won't remember the name of the song for the life of me. So here I'm like, oh, that's yeah, whatever that song is, and I need somebody else to tell me the name.
So,
but I know the song.
This is where you might fall into a disadvantage.
Unless there's multiple choice attached to it. If there's multiple choice attached to it,
I wasn't
fare better.
planning that, but I could use it user friendly. So there's more. There's more, folks. Don't go yet. How about this one? And we'll make sure there's some drinks in them before we do this. The Jolitz Jamboree Tongue Tanglers, where you have to do a tongue twister and be the fastest time. So here's what I like about this. You could read it really slow and hope your opponent screws up, or you could really try to go fast. And this is where that luck of the draw is going to come in, because before every game, we're going to draw who's first or last, or be your pick, of course.
So this is like the old Cindy Brady, she sells seashells by the seashore.
Exactly. But maybe a little bit more difficult. So a little bit of strategy is going to come into play with this, right? Because if you're first, do you want to try and go really fast and screw up a few times, and then the next guy can just go, she sells seashells, and get it right and get this? I see some fun in this.
All right.
So that's that. And how many we got left? One or two?
I don't know. This is your thing.
I know, but I'm
not involved in this, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot be in the preparation.
I don't know if any of you have ever watched the it's a famous British show, and it's like Two Truths and a Lie.
Okay.
So this is Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. And this is where you got to get really creative. I'm going to have you and Mike each send me 3 separate sets of statements of 3. One of them is going to be true. The other 2 will be lies. So think of the most bizarre things that have happened in your life, and then pair them with other things and see if your opponent can pick the true statement.
So we have to send you 9 statements is what we're telling you.
Right.
Okay.
3 sets of 3.
And in each set, there will be 1 truth and 2 lies.
Right.
Okay.
And we've all had life experiences, right? Like I've had a lot of weird shit happen. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, they'll never believe this is true. Right. So you really got to go in your archives, get correct. And we're going to learn some really weird, true stuff about you guys.
All right.
I call this one Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. So the only thing I haven't mentioned yet, and I haven't told the guys about this yet, because I'm still working on it. Last week I revealed There's a weird picture they got to use for their profile on Facebook. In other years we've used onions and lemons and mustard, and there is a penalty when you lose an event. So we just got to make sure somehow, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the tongue twister, that we have some alcohol involved. That'll make it more fun. But I promise Mrs. B and Mrs. Jolitz, they will arrive home safely. They're broadcasting from home, so the biggest thing that's going to happen is they'll sleep on the couch or by the toilet.
One of the two. And yes, we don't know the punishments yet, so we have to we have to I guess you will tell us over the weekend, so we have things at our ready for if we need.
Yeah, and listen, this is when it gets tough on my end. I know it's the most pressure is being the contestant, but in other years, Big B and I would concur and share ideas, and it was a little easier because you had someone to throw things on. Now, I'm all alone here, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Choo Choo Stew AI, and AI didn't come up with any ideas. Trust me. All right, I've done enough talking. You ready for your part?
I think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a favorite part of ours. And we haven't been able to get into it for the last few weeks. So everything tonight is going to be
Cave Crew Radio presents Florida in the News.
Before we get started here, Bacon is sitting there with his blueberry beer. Contest number one should be alcohol-fueled content to warm things up for the rest of them. Yeah, well, send me your ideas. Everything will be taken into consideration. And I was going to say something, I forgot.
You know what? So here's an idea before we go jump into Florida. You're looking for, obviously I can't do the scorekeeping and all this because I'm a contestant. You're looking for somebody else to kind of do those things. Maybe Bacon can jump on.
Maybe Bacon can make himself available. No softball, no hockey. Get his craft beers, sit down at the computer, and he can be the official scorekeeper.
There you go.
And you can even come on camera, like we might move you out and in sometimes. But I mean, if you want to be my Ed McMahon, if you want to be my who would we just have? Kathy Lee. I'm open because I could use someone to keep score and stuff like that because. Big B does a lot of the talking, and I'm going to have to read the questions. I'm going to have to pull up the music. I got a lot of work to do behind the scenes, folks, but trust me, it's going to be a smash. I know what I was going to say now. I really hope these stories are good because I don't know about you. I have not written anything down, and we're 20 minutes into the show.
Oh, I haven't written down anything either.
Okay, well, this is going to be great. Cave Crew Radio, Endless Summer, blank. Of course, that might be a good name. I don't know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Florida in the news. Let's start with this one. I've been waiting.
Yes, the first story of the night comes from the Miami New Times. Headline reads, Florida cops say, stop narking on manatee orgies.
That might be a show note.
It's manatee mating season, and Florida police are here with an important reminder. Don't call the cops on manatee orgies. on July 29th, alongside a video showing a group of roughly a dozen large sea cows lumped atop one another near a shoreline, set to the tune of Marvin Gaye's "Let's Get It On." The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office
cows were that horny.
The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office wrote on Facebook asking people to give a little privacy to herds of manatees actively knocking flippers. We get calls all the time from citizens when they see this, believing the manatees are in distress. We can assure you they are more than fine. Although Florida's beloved manatees get it on year-round, mating herds are most commonly seen during the steamy summer months. In shallower waters, the effect can be quite dramatic, with churning waters and flailing flukes and flippers. Hold while I write things down.
Okay, I've got one now finally too. I remember when I was in Fort Myers there a while ago, my cousin would tell me you'd occasionally sight a manatee. But of course, this was like what, March or April or February or whenever Easter is. I never did sight a manatee.
You got to be down there, and you got to be down there in the summer months.
I want to see it.
The activity can attract onlookers who are either curious about the commotion or concerned that the manatees are in the estrus herd. The manatees in the estrus herd are injured, stranded, or in distress.
What do they think? There's like manatee gangs? It's like West Side Story? Like warriors?
I think people are concerned like that they may have beached themselves, like a beached whale.
Oh, I thought you were concerned because they were fighting.
This is what I'm thinking, that they are concerned that they are beached.
Okay.
But they are doing it on purpose, ladies and gentlemen.
So they're banging on dry land.
I guess, yeah, they're banging or in very shallow water.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
like it could be like right off the beach.
Yeah.
You know, but you can still walk in. You're like waist high in the water. So they may be doing it right there.
Right. So, sorry to ruin your sandcastle, Mr. Smith, but we're having an orgy. A gangbang.
And you know what? When you got your pineapple upside down, or what was it? The pool float. What was it in the village?
It was an upside down pineapple, and then it was that thing they hung on their. I can't remember what it's called.
Right, whatever it was. You don't need people coming in while you're doing your thing with 16 other people of the villages. Leave the manatees alone. Let them get it on.
Yeah, they're just naturists. They just like doing it right out in the open.
It's not their fault. They don't have pockets for money, so they can't go to a motel.
Yeah, they just show up. Hello, yeah, Mr. Jones. Mr. and Mrs. Jones. We've all done that when we were kids. Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
My name is Matt A.T.
Who's the room for? Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Come on, you're like 17. You don't have your own place. The parents won't fucking leave you alone. Her parents are too strict. You go to the Ivy Rose Motel for $40 and you sign in as Mr. and Mrs. Jones. You get some Wendy's, then you bang for the next 8 hours. Hey, we've all done it. Admit it. And it is not rape.
No, it's not. I was at what was it called? The Haven Motel or some shit like that. And there was literally prostitutes outside, and I thought I was going to get shot at one point. Being in there, it was a filthy, nasty, disgusting place, and I wanted to get out very quickly.
Yeah, that's no excuse for premature ejaculation.
I didn't say there was any of that. I said I wanted to get out of there quickly. I didn't say I did.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And that's it. They basically just, the rest of the story is the scientific facts of their mating and when they do it and things like that.
Right. So maybe we can post that on our social media in case anybody wants to learn further. But just yourself at home, ladies and gentlemen, grab your smartphone, your tablet, or your laptop and Google manatee mating habits,
mm-hmm.
and you'll get the rest of the story. Okay, very good. Very good. We switch from underwater to up in the air. This lovely lady went on a plane flight.
She certainly did. The next one, although this is a Florida story, comes from Scoop Nashville, meaning Nashville, Tennessee. The headline reads, Florida woman Clinay Cameron goes wild on Southwest Airlines flight to Nashville.
I always wonder where they get these. They have the best names. It's never John Fredrickson or, like.
No, this is Clinay
Cameron. What were her parents on when they're reading through the name book and mom says, we're going to call her Clinay?
I couldn't tell you. Flocka. It's from Florida.
She looks like a Clinay.
They were on, maybe they were near the clinic and said, Clinay.
Yeah. Clinic. No, they're going to get made fun.
No, we have to make it sound high class.
Let's make it sound Spanish with a little bit of flair.
Clinay. It sounds like a perfume.
Yeah.
Eau de Clinay.
Chantel number 7. There's a new release.
You too can smell like old fish.
Yeah. Like manatees fucking.
You too can smell like manatee sperm after an orgy. 32-year-old Clinay Cameron was on an incoming Southwest Airlines flight to the Nashville International Airport Friday night. As the plane was taxiing to Gate 5, passenger Jessica Peath was using her phone normally when Cameron suddenly began to scream and tell other passengers she has a red screen on her phone. And they were all in danger and not safe. I have no idea. Off-duty Metro Nashville police officer Daniel Russett happened to be sitting behind the woman on the phone. Several passengers assisted Cameron back to her seat. As Jessica began to exit the plane, Cameron blocked her way and became verbally aggressive and abusive and had to be separated by flight attendants. Once escorted from the plane, Cameron was charged with assault for placing the victim in fear and resisting arrest as she ran from multiple officers and back onto the ramp, where she was eventually able to be detained with the assistance of multiple officers. Clinay J.L. Cameron.
She's got multiple names.
This is what it says. Clinay J.L. Cameron was booked into the Metro Nashville jail on June 16th, charged with resisting arrest and assault. She is free on a $4,000 bond.
They didn't say if she was on anything or
nothing, as usual in our stories.
So I'm thinking like she's sensitive to light, and maybe she has like what do you call that when seizures? She saw the red screen, and
I've never heard of a red screen. I don't know what that is. I think we all know what the blue screen of death is.
Right. Yes.
We all know.
Especially you.
Yes, I know for sure what the blue screen of death is. For those that use Apple products, the black screen, we all know what that is. I've never heard of a red screen.
No. So there you go. She was arrested, and excellent name, if nothing else.
Clinay J.L.
Cameron. Beautiful. We're moving quick now. We're doing good. All right. This one involves a dude who, used a bucket of something.
And I have questions about that when we get
me,
done.
Me too.
The next story comes from Fox 35 Orlando. Headline reads, Florida man arrested after dunking woman's head in tar.
What a great idea.
A Florida man was arrested for allegedly dumping a woman's head in a vat of tar, causing chemical burns to her face and arms. Marshall Dimmick of Rosewood was booked into the Levi County Detention Center on charges of aggravated battery, aggravated assault with a firearm, and 4 counts of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. On
Why
July
did you
20th,
shoot her then?
I don't know. On July 20th, Levi County deputies were called to a home in Rosewood for a domestic disturbance. When they arrived, they took statements from the victim and a friend about what had happened. According to deputies, the victim said she and Dimmick were arguing when he struck her in the head, when he stuck her head into the tar-like substance that is used to treat clam and oyster bags.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to read that again.
Yeah.
He stuck her head into a tar-like substance that is used to treat clam and oyster bags.
I have no idea what that is.
He then choked her to near unconsciousness and pointed a shotgun at her. She was taken to a local hospital for treatment for her burns. Deputies said Dimmick is a convicted felon and is prohibited from having a gun. They learned Dimmick reportedly removed several firearms from the home prior to their arrival. The guns were later found on a neighboring property. Dimmick is being held in jail on a $550,000 bond. Now,
wait a minute. That's more than Trump's. And they're accusing him of like throwing the election and causing a revolution.
That's their pretending charges. That's all made up.
Okay.
It's not actually real charges. They're just making these things up so to try to advance their political clout.
Right.
In this instance, it doesn't say what this man does for a living.
Well, he's a convicted felon, so
he is a convicted
probably
felon.
The one driving one of those meth vehicles.
But there's no meth involved in this. There is a tar-like substance that is used to treat clams and oyster bags.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what clam and oyster bags are.
We need help, folks. Someone Google quickly and put it in the chat. Quickly.
I want to know why he had this at the ready. Why was a vat of tar sitting in his living room next to the coffee table with the TV guide for the upcoming next week's shows in it? Why is this sitting there? And how is it that he managed to dunk her like she's bobbing for fucking apples and tar? He's dunking her head in there. How does this happen? Why is it there? Why does he have it? How does he manage to get her into the tar?
And how does she not suffocate? How big is this barrel of tar?
It doesn't say. It said, where is it? A vat of tar. Somewhere in it. Somewhere in here it said a vat of tar.
So that's pretty big. And a vat is like something like, that's
right,
big.
The very first sentence, a Florida man was arrested for allegedly dumping a woman's head in a vat of tar.
And why would you have a vat of tar at your residence?
This is what I'm saying.
Ladies and gentlemen, what are clam and oyster bags? Please.
Exactly.
I'm going to Google it while you rant.
I have no idea what this person... And all right, so let's say I'm assuming clam and oyster bags have to do with the fishing. So they scoop them up out of the water. They put them in the bags. I'm assuming. And it's treated with a certain chemical. So they live, die, whatever they do. I don't know. This man is a convicted felon. I don't think he can readily have access to such chemicals, right? You have to be, I'm assuming you have to be licensed for this stuff. Why would he have it at his ready, sitting in a vat? That's like a 55-gallon drum of tar sitting in his living room. Like he's eating his spaghetti and meatballs. And, suddenly a meatball rolls off the plate and into the tar. How does this work? Why does he have it there? These stories never, ever tell us what we all want to know.
And I can't find an answer for this. Clam and oyster bags, you're right, are used to harvest. They use a mesh bag.
Okay.
Those oyster mesh bags provide amazing fishing experience. 3 cents a piece. Doesn't say anything about the tar.
Yeah, I don't know. There is so many unanswered questions.
I found an ebook, but I don't have time to read it. But yeah, that's strange. That is one of our more strange ones. Because I can understand, you got lobster traps. You've seen those, or they place them in the water. It's kind of like a bee thing with your wasps in the yard.
Right.
They get in, but they can't get out.
Right. Yep.
Right. And they do the same thing for crabs on like Deadliest Catch.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched a show about oyster and clam harvesting, but
I don't know that there is one.
Maybe the tar, does that like help them stick? So, but I can't see a clam running away.
Right. It's in a shell. It's not like it really goes far.
Right. I don't even know how clams move. That's a question for another day.
With the tide, I guess. With the moment.
So they're just basically like
they move with the water.
Basically like the dude in the wheelchair, kind of. Downhill, excellent. I'm gonna see some new sights.
Yes, it's like Christopher Reeve.
Yeah,
rolling around in his chair, blowing into it so he can turn.
Right.
So he can turn. Yes.
Right. Put some helium balloons on him. Oh my God! I feel like I'm riding a horse again.
Right.
Anyway, I'm curious. See, sometimes I don't know about you, ladies and gentlemen, but sometimes these stories pique my curiosity, and
I mean, please, if anybody that is a writer for any of these outlets comes across this show, listens to the show, whatever, please include pertinent details like this.
Yeah, I mean, so often, like reference to the manatee story. It's a lot of stuff we don't really need to know because we kind of follow what's going on. We understand it's a fact of nature. They do this, but the reference points are there if we have more questions.
Correct.
That was an excellent article.
Correct. This one has so many questions.
Right. We want to know why he had a Vatitar.
Mm-hmm.
We want to know what the Vatitar was for in bags of clams and oysters.
We have no idea.
What is the difference between a clam and an oyster, by the way?
Mm-hmm. I have no idea.
No,
oysters, you get the little pearls.
Right. But I'm just wondering flavor-wise.
I don't know. I had... when we went to Massachusetts one year, I had one of the two, clams or oyster. I don't remember which one, and I hated it.
I do know this. Clams, you get more in like strips, and I think it's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
The oyster is what you get in the shell, and we tried it in Halifax, and you drink it. It's like fucking.
I had the one in the shell, so maybe it was an oyster.
Yeah, that's the oyster. It tastes like phlegm.
Yeah,
at least a clam you can put on Paco seeds or whatever on it, or whatever.
You can put what?
Like Paco, like what you bread things with.
Oh, panko breadcrumbs?
Yeah.
You saying Pecco seeds? What the fuck is that?
The clams, like the clams, you can deep fry.
Yes,
and they're kind of rubbery too, but they got a little bit of a flavor. The oysters, I thought my wife was going to puke. Her and I both tried it. We tried oysters from 4 different places on this platter, and it was not cheap. And I'm like, they put it in a little bit of lemon juice, and I'm like, oh my God, this is disgusting. I thought escargot was bad, but yeah, oysters clams are not bad.
I will not eat either.
All right, for my Vatitar and clam bags, we go to a. Has this ever happened to you, ladies and gentlemen? How about a stranger in your bathtub?
That's right. The next story comes from NBC Miami. Headline reads, Florida Keys homeowner finds naked burglar in bathtub. A Florida Keys burglary suspect was arrested after a homeowner found him naked in his bathtub. Jeffrey David Hans was arrested Wednesday on burglary and property damage charges after the break-in on Summerlin Key which is in Monroe County.
Oh, of course. We've been there.
Officials said the homeowner was at a neighbor's house when he received a motion alert on his phone's home security app. Cameras at the home showed Hans trying to open the front door before he's seen walking toward a window. The homeowner went back to the house where he retrieved a firearm and found Hans naked in the bathroom tub. A deputy responded to a 911 call and found Hans surrounded by the homeowner and neighbors. The deputy found one of the home's windows damaged and reviewed the camera footage, which corroborated the homeowner's version of events. Hans was arrested and taken to jail. Attorney information wasn't available. That's the end of this story. Again, there are many questions.
Now, here's one. We've covered a lot of these stories, not just from Florida, but various places where they break into a home and they make bacon and eggs, or they break into a home and they take a nap, or they break into a yard and they masturbate on the swing. Look, I'm not a criminal. I have not crimed, okay? However, if I'm doing a job, I'm going in and getting what's there before the homeowner gets his motion detector alert on his phone, which is excellent. I need one of these machines. I'm in, I'm out. Okay, we've all seen these spy movies where, they cut the glass on the jewel and they gotta, they don't take showers in the bathtub or naked in the bathtub or make themselves bacon and eggs or sit down and play Nintendo because there was that's a cool game. What a fucking idiot. That's my comment on this.
So there's no mention of any reasoning for being in the bathtub. No mention of any substances he may be on, because he could be on something where he just is all fucked up and thinks he's home for whatever reason. There's no mention.
It could also be a fetish of some kind.
Well, that's where I was. There's no mention of any type of possible mental illness where the fetish could be involved in that kind of thing. There's no mention of any of these things, just that he broke into the house and was found naked in the bathtub.
So now I want you to put yourself, and I mean, there is no pity for this idiot, but you are doing this and you are naked in the bathtub and you are surrounded by the homeowner with a rifle and the neighbors.
And
what do you say to them? You just go, hello. Or can I have some privacy? Like, what exactly do you say?
Can you get me the towel that's over there, please?
Before you kick the shit out of me.
You need more bubble bath. I used the last of it.
This is beautiful lavender soap, by the way. I couldn't resist.
You have lovely bath bombs. They're exfoliating my skin as we speak.
Right. I understand, you really get one of those emergency number 2s, let's say. So, shit, no pun intended. I got to go. You sit down on the toilet and you got to, but a bath?
We did a story.
Water in the tub. It does not tell us if there was even water in the tub.
That's
you
true.
Just been sitting on porcelain naked.
We did a story a couple of weeks ago where there was a man showering himself with a hose in somebody's garden
hose, and then there was the other lady who was showering in a puddle or bathing in a puddle at the library.
That's right. So we don't. There's any number of reasons why people do things. It's just not put in the story.
Would it be possible to add a segment, or obviously we can't have too many awards at the end of the year, but how about the best bathing story?
We'd have to go back and find them.
I remember them. Those ones I remember. There's got to be 4 of them at least.
At least. But we'd have to go back and find them. So, if we were to do that, the winner, we could reread the story.
Right. I'm sure we could do that. We need to put the entire show and all its contents and all its stories on microfilm.
Microfiche.
Yeah.
Like we're James Bond in 1967.
Right.
On microfiche. We're going to go to the library and look it up in the microfiche machine.
Right. With what are those things you used to click to watch the the 7 Wonders of the World or Scooby-Doo?
What the fuck was that called?
Remember that? Yeah.
Yes.
I used to be so excited when I get those little discs and I put them in.
Oh yeah, you put the disc in.
And it was so cool. It was like 3D, and oh my God, I can't believe that is something you would think kids would still want today. What the hell is that called, ladies and gentlemen? We've had a long week. Viewmaster. There you go.
Bacon for the rescue.
Yeah.
Viewmaster.
I like, what a cheap little plastic, but I used to love it because every so often I'd get these little cardboard and there'd be like 3 discs in, and oh my God, Scooby-Doo or Batman or 7 Wonders of the World or the oceans around us. And you just sit there with it up to your eyes and you.
Yeah. But you asked the question, you would think kids would still want that. They have phones now.
I know, but it's not the same. You'd hold it up to your eyes and like the whole thing was
right.
Maybe again, I'm ancient, so black and white TV at one time was magical to me as well. Now I got a 90-inch HD, but thing you were talking about the old wrestling on the pre-show, like the Viewmaster was magic.
It absolutely was magic for us, for me and you and Bacon and all of us in our age range. The kids nowadays have these things. They go on YouTube and watch videos.
They don't understand the tenseness and the drama of trying to get the knee bone out of that dude in operation without getting zapped.
I remember Christmas morning. That was one of the things I got when I was a kid, and ripping it open and trying to get all those bones out without getting the buzzer going off. That was awesome.
That, and then there was that thing with like 1,000,000 wheels, and you put your pen in and connect the wheels together and make art.
Oh yeah, the sketch thing, whatever it was.
Spirograph.
Spirographs, yeah. Oh no, I was thinking of Spirograph, yeah, but I was thinking of Etch-a-Sketch.
Oh, Etch-a-Sketch was another good one.
Etch-a-Sketch was, I couldn't do much. I'm not much of an artist. Like I can't draw for shit. So I drew, I would make an L. I could go L, and on my Etch-a-Sketch, I couldn't do it. Like I drew a circle. I couldn't do much of anything on an Etch-a-Sketch, but it was still fun just to sit there and twist and do this.
And for hours, I remember sitting. This is probably the first video game ever. There were these plastic things filled with water, and there was a little ball in there, and you'd have to push the button and try and get the ball up in the hoop.
We had one, and I'm sure you had it too, which they had. Remember, we went to the aquarium a couple of weeks ago. They had the same thing as a water game with a button on it, but it had the ring. You had to get it on the thing for points. They had that thing at the aquarium, and I remember as a kid, same thing.
I
You'd
would
sit
have
there for
bought
hours.
it. I would have bought it and brought it to work instead of like a stress ball. If I would have had an opportunity to buy that, I would sit there when I need a little mental break, and I would squish the buttons and try and get the hoop.
Those were great, but kids nowadays know nothing of that. And when we were doing these things, we had to use our imagination. Like we're doing those water things. We're in a game. We're in a competition. We're pretending, right? You're looking through the Viewmaster at dinosaurs. You're pretending you're in the Jurassic period, looking at the T-Rex. these kids nowadays don't use their imagination for anything because they just watch it on YouTube.
Okay, one last thing, because this has nothing to do with any of our stories, but it's our show. We do what we want.
God damn
Do
it!
you remember those Mattel games? One was football, and there were these little dots, and again, it was a handheld little thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you had to like run your guy past the dots, and there was a pass, and it would go. I have to show you a picture of that.
It wasn't a Mattel game. It was a football game, and it was like the first like kind of handheld computer.
Yes,
game
I think we're talking about the same thing.
But maybe it wasn't dots. It was like kind of blobs that looked like people, and you would have to go past the screen. You'd have to go past the screen like 10 times to score a touchdown.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we're probably talking to the exact same thing.
And when you did a pass, like so, let's say there was 4 levels. 3 of them would be taken. And if you did a pass, you had to kind of like dart it across to your guy,
right,
to get by the. Oh yeah, that was great.
Right, yeah. So 3 levels were taken.
What was the name of that
open.
game?
Yeah, one was open, so that would be the lane you'd have to run, and they would kind of move a little bit, and so you'd have to hit the button and continue to go to score touchdowns. Yeah, I love that game.
I did too. I played it for hours on end. Then I had this baseball game that would like, and it would like kind of randomly.
Well, I had the football, the vibrating football game. You know,
the one with the little guys that bounced around like.
It was like a mini football field, and you put the guys on, and you'd plug it in, and then it would just.
It was like
Michael spin.
It was like Michael J. Fox.
Yes, it was exactly like Michael J. Fox. It would the guys would spin and shake and not go anywhere, but that was supposed to be like.
No, I remember that's when I was so excited to get that. It was the Parkinson's Bowl.
It was terrible.
Yeah, those were the best. Right up there was Sea Monkeys, which we talked about before. Oh, the things you could buy out of comic books. Kids don't know.
No, they have no idea.
Kids.
Y'all remember Merlin?
I do remember Merlin. That was a good one. So was that Simon game where you had to press the colors and.
Yeah, it was not. Well, it was. Yeah, it wasn't Simon Says. It was just Simon. But wasn't Merlin kind of the similar thing?
Merlin was the handheld one, and at that time there was like 20 different games on there. Like Merlin was really cool.
I'm not sure that I remember. I remember the name Merlin. I don't think I had one.
It was I don't know if I had either, but I remember like it was so cool. There was a time when I was amused by watching Slinky go down the stairs.
Slinky, yeah. I had a couple of Slinkies, and you throw them in with the rest of your toys or whatever, and then when you want to play with it, you pull it out. It's all twisted and bent and stretched, and you can't do anything with it anymore.
Okay, one last one. Am I the only one? Silly Putty.
Oh, Silly Putty was awesome. To sit there and put it against the comics, like I'd get open the newspaper because my parents would have the newspaper delivered. Yeah. I'd open the comics, and you put the Silly Putty against the comics, and there it is. Look, it transferred. Silly Putty was awesome. You could do a whole bunch of stuff with it.
There you go, folks.
Make it into a little ball and then squish it, and
So here's an idea to open up a store is to somehow find all this stuff again. But it would probably bore kids.
But it would be a hit with the idiot millennial generation.
Right.
Because it's retro. So you could so that little 10-cent thing of Silly Putty, you can charge $25 for, and these idiot millennials will buy it because it's retro.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why is the Canadian guy in chat saying y'all?
Because he's from Southern Canada.
Okay, fair enough. All right, back to the Florida reads the news. We're getting close here, folks. We're actually I think we're gonna hit our goal tonight.
Bacon says he has the original Speak and Spell.
Oh, I remember that too.
Jesus Christ. Speak it. You could probably sell that on eBay. If you have the original one, you could probably sell that on eBay for a decent amount of money.
I remember that. That's so cool. All right. Anyway, back to Florida, ladies and gentlemen. We now move to a story about the meat department. We all know how expensive meat is these days, so maybe this guy's not to blame.
Well, we'll see. The next story, again, comes from NBC Miami. Headline reads, video shows meat thief pulling knife on West Miami supermarket manager. Police are searching for an alleged meat thief who was caught on camera pulling a knife on a West Miami grocery store manager who tried to stop him. The incident happened around 9 p.m. on July 3rd at the Tropical Supermarket on Southwest 8th Street. Another point to put in the map.
Good old 8th Street.
West Miami Police Department Detective Richard Menner said it was close to closing time when the suspect walked into the store and made his way to the meat section where he started loading beef products into a backpack.
Nice.
Store's manager approached him and words were exchanged. But when the manager tried to stop him, he pulled out a pocket knife and lunged at the manager. If somebody pulled a pocket knife out on me, I would laugh at them and slap them. You're pulling a pocket knife. It's this fucking big.
Right.
You're pulling out a pocket knife. Stop it.
Go big or go home. Like at least a steak knife or something. Like
Jesus Christ. He made a statement in the sense of, go ahead and call the police because it will at least give me time to eat my meal.
Oh my God, it's uncooked meat.
The suspect continued to put meat in the backpack, then left the store, hopped on a bicycle, and fled the scene. He had a pocket knife that was that big.
Right. And one of those
hopped on a.
Did it have the corkscrew and the screwdriver?
Right, yeah, like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
And then he hopped on a bicycle. You're telling me you couldn't stop this fucking guy? He had a bicycle and a Swiss Army knife. The entire incident was captured on surveillance footage. Menner said police are still searching for the suspect. We believe he lives in the area close by because he did come on a bike and leave on a bike. Great police work there.
Yep.
Anyone with information is asked to call the Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. I don't understand how inept this supermarket manager is.
Or how inept this entire police department and street is.
So he has a pocket knife with him. Let's say you were scared of the knife for whatever reason. Okay, fine. He's putting meat into his backpack, and then he's eventually getting out of the store. Is he walking backwards with the knife all the way to the automatic door?
Yeah,
if he is, are there not other employees in the store that can come up behind him and stop him?
I'm assuming the manager was closing alone that night.
Okay, fine. He's the only person in the store. The man exits the store and then goes to his bicycle where he's got to kick the kickstand up. He's got to get on. He's got to start pedaling. He's got to balance himself. You couldn't knock him off the bike.
You fucking wimp of a manager, you.
What the fuck is wrong with you? These things would never happen here in New York.
Or probably here.
Oh my God.
In Canada. All right, so there you go. So they didn't, it's kind of like that, again, talking about past stories, kind of like the guy we still don't know if there was any resolution about the guy that was on trial for murder or whatever the hell it was, and he left for lunch during his court hearing and never came back.
And never came back.
Who gives a criminal, look, you got a half hour, please be back.
He left for lunch and never came back.
I don't know if you guys remember that one, but
We are halfway through. Do you want to do Mike reads the news?
yeah.
And then we'll come back.
We're only halfway through.
Because coming up next, we're more than halfway through. Sorry, counting the number. Coming up next, we have some really good stories about some mobile drug use.
Yes. Now we're getting in to people that actually have an excuse for what they're doing.
I can't wait.
We'll have questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Mike Jolitz, who will be live next week right here for Jolitz Jamboree, and randomly appears live on the show and interacts with us. Depending on how his wife is feeling that week is how long he'll stay with us. But tonight, he recorded us some Mike Reads the News.
And now, Cave Crew Radio presents Mike Reads the News with Mike Jolitz.
Hello, Cave Crew Radio. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mike Reads the News. I am Mike Jolitz. Hello to you, DK. Hello, sir, Big B, and hello, listeners around the world. I hope you guys are all doing well. Guess what, guys? It is now time for Mike Reads the News. The Baltimore Ravens finally lost a preseason foosball game. Their 24 straight wins is the longest streak in the NFL. Oddly enough, they didn't do well in the playoffs during the same time frame. Weird. Shannon Sharp, formerly of Undisputed, is going to do battle with Stephen A. Smith on the ESPN show called First Take. I got a question there, Big B. What does the A stand for? Asshole? A diner at an Olive Garden claims that there was a rat's foot in his minestrone soup. He took a mouthful and felt a stabbing pain in his cheek. He actually said he took a bite. Who the hell bites soup? He's suing Olive Garden for $25,000. Tom Jones, the guy who wrote lyrics for the musical The Fantastics, died. He was 95 years old. No, not that Tom Jones, guys. The other one. I didn't know who he was. And finally, in the news, Spain won the Soccer Women's World Cup. I didn't watch, but I did hear that Australia ended up in 4th place. Suck it, Australia. Alrighty, guys, that does it for the news. And I got some tidbits for you guys, too. They're not headlines. They're just little tiny pieces of shit. Yeah. NASCAR driver and, dare I say, legend Dick Trickle died this week. He was 71 years old. Oh, no. Beyonce was in town last night. I didn't go. Oh, yeah. Wrestling legend Terry Funk died on Thursday. He was 79. Oh, no. Trump had his mugshot taken yesterday in Georgia. He looked pissed. Oh, no. And finally, in the tidbits, India supposedly landed a spacecraft on the moon. Sure. Oh, yeah. Alrighty, guys, that does it for the news. That does it for the tidbits. I am out of here. Sorry, no Twitter shits this week. Hope to have them for next week for the Jolitz Jamboree if we get time to fit it in. All right, later, guys. Choose chow on a feeder saying, have a good show. Later, bye-bye.
India landed a spaceship on the moon. It's news to me.
On the moon, quote unquote. Mike,
gotcha.
Mike,
kind of like that Apollo theory.
To answer Mike's question, yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what it stands for.
AS4.
I hate Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, he's a moron. All right,
Shannon
ladies.
Sharp is a douchebag too, so you know.
Well, they both are, but they're good. They're paired together.
Yeah, that'll be a real fun show.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the news. Talking FLA. Here's one.
Hold on, I gotta get to it.
You got it. You guys want drugs? You got it. Well, Big B's pulling it up. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next week is the Jolitz Jamboree. 5 different categories, 5 different penalties. One comes out, Big B versus Mike Jolitz. It's going to be fun. It's going to be intense. And I'm sure it's going to be a lot of laughs.
So this next story is a story that really could only be in Florida. It can't be anywhere else other than on a TV show called Breaking Bad.
Right.
This next story comes from clickorlando.com. Headline reads, suspected mobile meth lab forces Florida Welcome Center on I-95 to shut down and evacuate.
And do you realize in that picture, it's not even a van. It's a sedan.
Right. It's a car. It's like a Toyota Corolla.
Right.
The Florida Welcome Center on Interstate 95 was shut down and evacuated on Thursday afternoon after the Florida Highway Patrol discovered what is believed to be a mobile methamphetamine lab during a traffic stop.
Right. A meth kind of like ice cream truck or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if it had little music playing.
Or it would probably be more like do 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 do. You know, it's got to be some psychedelic, right?
That is true. Yes.
Right.
The Nassau County Sheriff's Office posted photos just after 2 p.m. that showed hazardous material crews surrounding and pulling materials out of a silver car in the parking lot. NCSO said it started when FHP, Florida Highway Patrol, pulled over the car for suspected illegal window tint and found an undisclosed amount of meth in the car. A man and a woman have been arrested and accused of meth possession. FHP said there was also meth-making equipment in plain view.
It's
FHP
like a meth DoorDash on demand. It's like kind of like those Japanese restaurants where they make it in front of you.
It's meth dash.
Yeah, here. Let me put down my beaker and my Bunsen burner, and I'm gonna make this fresh for you. You're gonna trip like never before.
I wonder if they have an app where you order and Ahmed is on his way to you. FHP said the Welcome Center office will be shut down for the rest of the day. And that's the end of the story.
I have an odd question. As we always, because I don't understand. So I watched Breaking Bad, and you probably got into it more than I did. Because, what is so dangerous about meth? Like other than it'll kill you if you take it, but is it explosive?
The chemicals, yes, can be.
Yeah. Okay.
As you're making it, you have to be very careful with it. They are poisonous. The actual chemicals are you can die from inhaling as you're making meth. The various chemical compositions you can die from.
Hence, they wore the N95 masks when they were
the masks. Yes.
Yeah.
So it could explode and it could kill you via inhaling the fumes.
Oh, but it's a good high.
I guess. You're telling you say that as if you're speaking from experience.
Let me add to my collection. Most people say, you see those posts on like Facebook or Instagram or something. What have you done? I skipped school. I've smoked marijuana. Right. I barebacked, whatever. I feel like I'm creating the list of things I have not done. And ladies and gentlemen, I have not methed or cooked meth.
Hold on.
You write a whole list of things.
Okay, I will ask one of the questions in the next story.
Okay.
So that's what I thought. I was going to ask one of these, have you, but that will be for the next story.
All right. And
not this one, the next one.
You really make me look vanilla, though, when we're doing these stories. I really did have a lot of fun. and I still have a lot of fun. Like wherever when I go on trips, or if I go to a bar, or I'm having a campfire, people laugh. I think they're having fun. But with these stories, you really made me feel vanilla. Not that that's a bad thing, because I'd be in prison not doing this show.
This is true. And then what would people do on their Friday nights?
Exactly. Except you could have a show like Cops, and you could like be interviewing me in prison, and I could tell you all these stories that I made. Maybe there should be a alternate universe DKAI.
DKAI, where he has done meth, he has done crime, he has done other things.
Yes, he's done all this stuff. He's partaked in S&M.
He has joined the pineapple crew.
Yes,
in the villages.
He has drank raw eggs. He's living on the edge.
Look out now. Him and Sylvester Stallone drinking raw eggs.
I could be one of those guys that like sticks the pencil or the knife in the can of beer and
look. Let's not get out of hand. Next thing you know, you'll be cutting tags off mattresses.
There you go. There you go. I could do anything you want. DKAI. All right, here's another weird.
So we went from a mobile meth lab to this. This comes from the Florida Standard. Headline reads, Candyman busted for selling drugs out of a snack truck.
What a great name, though. The Candyman.
Candyman.
I love it.
Today, detectives at the Port St. Lucie Police Department announced the arrest of Radamiz Guzman, a.k.a. the Candyman.
Great job pronouncing that after a night of drinking, by the way.
After a sting revealed... okay. Amanda's messaging me. After a sting revealed he was selling drugs out of his mobile snack food truck.
Obviously targeted at, people that have the munchies.
Well, I think it's a little more than that.
Oh.
Guzman told the police he began selling fentanyl, cocaine, marijuana, and psilocybin mushrooms.
This is like playing drug Pokemon tonight. The other dude doing the mobile only had meth. He's got fentanyl. He's got coke. He's got magic mushrooms. Holy shit. Talk about a rodeo of fucking psychedelics.
And he did all this from his snack truck to offset the bad economy.
Did he actually have? But now again, I have not fentanyled or coked or like. Do you get the munchies on this stuff? So maybe that enhanced the sale of the snacks.
So yes, with marijuana. I know
marijuana. I have marijuana.
I don't think so with fentanyl. I don't think so with cocaine. And I don't think so with mushrooms.
I have magic mushroom too. But anyway.
I have not. After obtaining a search warrant, detectives raided the exotic snacks truck parked.
He even called it the exotic snacks. I love the Candyman. He's my new favorite.
It's snacks with a Z.
Oh,
the truck was parked on the 1300 block of Southwest Gately Boulevard and seized the following: 10,000 fentanyl pills with a street value of $300,000.
Holy shit!
626 grams of cocaine, 4.4 pounds of marijuana, 7 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, 1,000 grams of THC wax.
What the fuck is that?
That's like a new thing. The wax. It's like in some of the shops now you can get where it's legal and all. It's a new thing that the kids are doing.
What do you like? Burn it and then you just inhale? Like,
I guess. Yeah, I don't exactly know. 2 drug pill presses and 9 firearms. Why does he need 9 firearms in a food truck?
he's tripping like that guy in Apocalypse Now. Remember the dude that was on LSD? This is fucking beautiful.
That was Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
And he was actually on drugs in that scene. And Stanley Kubrick, or no, I don't think that he was the director in that. Whoever was the director, just let it run. And all of that entire scene was him actually being high doing stupid shit.
That was a great movie. But anyway.
Guzman was arrested and charged with 22 drug-related crimes, including trafficking in fentanyl, trafficking in cocaine, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of drug equipment, possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana over 20 grams, and use of a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony.
I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the snack truck comes around, be careful what you order.
And now, as a businessman, you're a businessman, as am I. That's a little bit too much inventory.
That's a lot of inventory.
You could probably run a little leaner, and then once you sell out, go back, buy some more, and make sure you're making the proper margin on the product you're selling. But that's a lot of inventory.
That's for a snack truck. And again, why does he need 9 firearms? You have 2 hands.
Yeah.
The snack truck is this fucking wide and this fucking long. Where are you going? You don't need 9 firearms. If you find yourself in the position where you need to use 9 firearms, by the time you get to the 6th, you're probably dead.
Yeah. Now, does he do tailgate parties like the Dolphin games or the Marlin games? Or
can you get him for a block party? Like, can you hire him for the block party?
Yeah. You know, the beer's too expensive inside. Let's go see the Candyman.
Radimus.
We'll be set till the 4th quarter at least.
Radimus Guzman.
I love him.
Facebook user is in chat. Hey, Facebook user. I don't know who you are.
Hey, Facebook user. Welcome to the show. It's always great when you show up.
Facebook user, our number 1 fan. Please post your name.
Yeah, and we're glad we can make you laugh. We got a laughing face there. Are you going to tell us what Amanda said, or is it personal business?
It's Amanda's in chat. No, it's Scentsy stuff. There's something coming out on September 1st. My wife wants it's like a cactus looking warmer that she wants, and it's apparently coming out on September 1st. So I was messaging Amanda earlier in the evening to see if it was going to be in stock so I can order it from her.
Well, thank you so much for supporting small business, ladies and gentlemen. If you need Scentsy products, this is not CBD wax, by the way. This is legitimate, good smelling wax. We can hook you up with our snack truck, Amanda.
But be warned, she will not be selling fentanyl. She will not be selling cocaine. She will not be selling marijuana or magic mushrooms. It is strictly Scentsy candles, warmers, car fresheners.
Yes.
And things
sprays. I had some water in the basement. Water in the basement. And I remember I ordered Isbia, this little bucket. And in there was this spray. Worked excellent to take away the musty smell.
Oh, they actually have cleaning products that smell wonderful. If you're, we mopping the floor with some of the Scentsy stuff, it smells great. If in chat, it is Amanda DesRosiers. DesRosiers.Scentsy.ca. I am not spelling it. Figure it out. It's in chat.
Just say DesRosiers because I'm English.
But it's French. But I have to say DesRosiers. De Rosier's.
Rosier.
She's French. She's French Canadian. But yes, of course, we all know Amanda from Choo Choo Stew 2, Choo Choo Mania 2, I should say, where she won. She won Choo Choo Mania 2, and has always been a great friend of ours. And if
And
you
she
are
played
in the-
Believe It or What,
she's
she's a
been,
good sport.
she's been on the show a number of times. If you are in need of nice smelling shit, hit up Amanda for all of your scentsy needs.
All right, so back to the news, because I didn't think we'd run out of time, but we're getting really tight here. All right, so here's a really good gentleman. He is also not raped.
So this comes from NBCMiami.com. Headline reads, Florida man allegedly stole pool floats from homes to stop himself from raping women. Now, my question to you is, have you raped?
Well, you know I haven't raped. And the funny thing about it is I've never needed to steal pool floats.
That was going to be my second question. Have you not raped because you are using pool floats?
No. I also have not used pool floats.
Well, a Florida man is behind bars after police say they found dozens of stolen pool floats inside a vacant home. Something the man told officers he did to avoid raping women. Christopher Monin was arrested last week in Palm Bay on several charges, including burglary as well as theft of property less than $300 and criminal mischief. The 35-year-old was booked into the Brevard County Jail, where he is being held as he awaits a July 16th hearing that obviously occurred. According to an NBC affiliate, officers followed Monin to the home after he allegedly broke into the deck of another house to steal the floats. Monin reportedly told investigators that he performed sex acts on the floats instead of raping women. He's being held on $80,500 bond. Most people don't rape women because we're not psychopaths.
Right.
We are, law-abiding, normal human beings.
Right.
Even
if you have a high sexual desire, you may cheat, but you're still not raping.
You may cheat,
or you may live the alternate lifestyle that we talked about earlier of the gangbang.
The gangbang. You may be a cuckold.
Yeah, a cuckold. Yes, I forgot about them. They're always the life of the party.
Right. But sitting at no point,
sitting in a corner watching your wife get nailed by some big black guy
and enjoying it.
And I have not cuckolded either, by the way.
But at no point do any of these people who are engaged in those activities rape.
Right.
Now, sexual predators is a whole other story.
Yeah.
For one reason or another, they do. Whether it be a mental issue, 9.9 times out of 10, it's a mental issue where they have these deep-seated abuse issues from being a child,
anger issues,
issues. They were sexually abused, and all of this stuff. Horrific things have gone on in their life that led them to that point. I watch crime shows all day, every day, almost. I've seen it all from A to Z as far as crime goes, why people do it, how people do it, how they get caught, things like that. Never have I ever seen somebody say they do X to stop from raping a woman.
Right.
Never.
It's like you quit smoking, so you chew toothpicks.
Well, I quit smoking so I wouldn't commit homicide. It doesn't make sense.
Look, you like pool floats. It's okay. There was another story again. We keep referring back now because we've been doing this. Remember the guy that fucked Olaf in the department
Target
store?
Yes, in Target.
It happens. You're into what you're into. Just be cool with yourself. Be real. You're not going to rape, and no one cares about the pool float. As soon as it goes back in the pool, the chlorine will kill the cum. I mean, anyway, great guy. Don't rape. Just
oh my goodness.
Whatever you do. All right, now it's time, and this is fun. We always love doing this stuff. This is the last one we got, ladies and gentlemen, as we wind down to the Jolitz Jamboree next week. We will not get Choo Choo AI Jr., but I promise you it will come at some point. But here's a story about, let's get away from pool toys and rape. Here's a story about a burrito.
I have an issue.
Uh-oh. Story's gone.
It's there, but it keeps prompting me to subscribe to continue reading. I can't get out of it. I can't read the story.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we might have to bypass this last story of the week. See, I'm not the only one that is thinking, but you know what? It's that time anyway. So that was perfect timing.
So really, really briefly, I read it. I kind of remember it. There was a woman in a store who was yelling at customers. And she was the clerk behind the counter, yelling at customers. She eventually picked up a burrito and assaulted another person with the burrito. That's why it was last, because they threw something at somebody, which I like.
And this is why it's so disappointing to you, because what is your fetish? What do you like when people do to each other?
I like when people assault each other with strange things. And still my favorite is the chicken wings.
Things. You love stories when they throw things at each other.
I do.
Toasters, pizza, chicken wings.
Chicken wings is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried a number of times.
The toaster was really good myself.
It just keeps asking me to subscribe, so I cannot read that story, unfortunately.
All right, so it's that time anyway, because we need to eat and go pee, and we're old guys, so I've been holding it for 90 minutes, almost 2 hours. I don't have a lot this week, Big B. I'll just read what I got here. A show note: if you're in need of nice smelling shit,
call Amanda.
Yeah,
Amanda's got some good smelling shit that she sells on Scentsy.
Stop narking on manatee orgies. Also show note. Also from that story, though, I did like knocking flippers.
There you go.
From another story earlier tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote down, she has a red screen.
Nobody knows what that is. But
I don't think any of these are going to win this week. I have no confidence, ladies and gentlemen, but I do have two more. And it was kind of tight. This one kind of doesn't make sense, but it was weird to me. Clam and oyster bags.
We had to Google it and still don't know what it really does.
Still don't have a clue. If someone can help us. But my nomination, ladies and gentlemen, for this week's show name, and again, I admit I'm not totally in my game because we've been busy doing all kinds of stuff. I still like Who Bites Soup as my nomination this week. Who Bites Soup? Big B, you got to have 4.
I have 6.
Oh, you went ahead and you were really busy. All right, fire away.
First off, you said this earlier on things you have not done. You said, I have not crimed. You're just encompassing everything. You have not.
Yes, well, you guys put me in this position almost every week. I might as well blanket insurance.
Next one up is simple. We tried to figure out why it's sitting in the living room. A vat of tar.
Yeah, yes, I like that too. Number 3.
And then we were talking about the toys of our childhood. And I was speaking about the vibrating football game, and you called it the Parkinson's Bowl.
I like that one. That was not the handheld one. That was the board game that you would play.
That was the electronic. You plug it in, and it would just.
Yeah, I know it well. I know it well.
Next, again from the Manatee story, flailing flukes and flippers.
Ooh, flailing.
There's a lot of alliteration there.
Flukes and flippers. Great author of that story.
Next, and this, I believe this should be a show note that you just said 3 minutes ago. The chlorine will kill the cum.
It's true. Haven't you ever told a girl you're not going to get pregnant underwater? It's all good.
Chlorine will kill the cum, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for the number 1.
I'm sure this is it.
And I know for a fact this is it. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have Cave Crew history, because I don't think we've ever done this when we've been naming shows. I have my number 1 that I wrote down. It's in the middle here. The exact same number 1 as DK. Who bites soup?
I don't think this has ever happened. Sometimes we get close. Like last week,
similar.
Like, I was thinking the same.
We get similar, but as you can see, it was here when where is it? There it is. So it wasn't like I just wrote it down as you said. I wrote it down during Mike reads the news, so it's right there. Yep. See, it was written down. Who bites soup?
Yeah.
I agree 100%. We made Cave Crew history here tonight. We both had the exact same thing as our number 1.
There you go. Yeah. There's going to be history every time you watch a show. It's like 10 seasons, ladies and gentlemen, but we always manage to make it happen. But it's true. Who bites soup?
Who bites soup?
Yeah. All right, listen, we all got to go. We all got to get some rest. We got a big show next week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Jolitz Jamboree, ladies and gentlemen, September 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on all these places that you see right here. And we'll have a good time. It's going to be fun. I got still a lot of behind-the-scenes work to do, but we're going to be ready for you. All right, Big B, say goodnight. We're out of here.
Later.
I want you to pack up and get out.
Get the hell out of here!
Go! Just go! Get out! Get the hell out!
That
will conclude this evening's entertainment.
Shut up!
I love the First Amendment. Nobody loves it better than me. Nobody. Who uses it more than I do?